Hello, we are Geeks Assembled, and today I'm joined by Susan and Ethan. And today we are discussing a Disney classic, their 26th animated movie from 1986, if I'm correct. Based on a book series for children, based on what shall we say, a fictional character of British literature. But this, as Disney always does, let's replace everyone with with mice.
Animals.
With mice. We are talking the Great Mouse Detective, or in some countries, it was known as Basil the Great Mouse Detective. And my copy is known as Basil the Great Mouse Detective. So, without further ado, let's go with the opening thoughts on this animated movie. I know this is one of Ethan's favourite Disney movies. You look at he's excited, look at his little face there. But shall I go to him first or shall I go to Susan? Ooh. Let's go to Ethan.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, no, you're right. My two favorite Disney films are this one and DuckTales. DuckTales the movie. But if we took DuckTales the movie out of the equation, this is my favorite Disney film. And it's such an underrated one. But it's a fantastic one. You've got Barry Ingram as Basil. You've got a little cameo from Basil Rathbone as Sherlock, which is great. But the main showstopper, the main stealer of the light, is one of the best Disney villains of all time, Ratigan, Professor Ratigan. He is literally the greatest Disney villain ever. And it's Vincent Price who does the role perfectly. Basically, Professor Ratigan is Moriarty, but he's a rat. And if I remember rightly...
No, he's not. No, he's not. No, don't say that. He's not a rat. He's a mouse.
Oh, you're not a rat.
Then why is he called Ratigan?
He's a mouse. He's a pretty big mouse, but he's a mouse. No, he was in denial.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what Vincent Price, if I remember rightly, stated that this was his favorite role out of all the roles he's done. He just loved it. So anyway, the story as it is pretty much Sherlock Holmes. I'm pretty sure this is based on a book called Basil the Mouse Detective. It was a children's book, obviously. And as it is in this, a little girl, Olivia, her dad, a toy maker, has been kidnapped. Oh, that's another one. The toy maker is voiced by Alan Young, aka Scrooge McDuck.
Also, as well, if going further back, he also was more famous for Mr. Ed, the talking horse.
Yeah, the talking horse. Yeah. I knew there was another character he was famous for, so thanks for reminding me on that one. And so Olivia meets this version's Watson, which is known as Dawson.
Yeah.
And they go to meet Basil, get his help, to try and find her dad and stop Ratigan from taking over London, basically trying to become king. It's a great plan as well because it all builds up because you're thinking, what is he actually planning? And eventually it's a robot queen they're building. That's why he's kidnapped the toy maker to build this robot queen. And you've got some very great characters in this, like what was the bat called again? Fidget, who's a great he's got some pretty scary moments, that bloody bat. You know, he can be really he's really funny, isn't he? But there were some bits I even remembered as a kid which freaked me out, this guy. And I'll get to scenes later down the line about those bits. But yeah, you've got some great voice acting, and like I said, Vincent Price as Ratigan he just is. I know I've said it before. He is my favorite Disney villain because I love the villain Moriarty, and I love the kind of villain that he plays in this, where he is so gentlemanlike and trying. He's trying to hide something, but as he is, he's just a big rat. He's just a deranged rat. He's trying to hide all that insanity and that beast animal side of him, which builds up. Again, I'll get to favorite moments down the line. But yeah, it's got a beautiful soundtrack to this. And I think it was the first Disney movie that utilized 3D, like computer 3D animation, particularly which we see in the Big Ben fight.
Oh, right, yeah.
With the whole animation being so 3D. I believe this was the first time Disney thought, let's try and do this. And it still stands up quite well, actually, for 1986. It's not over the top, but it still does it very well. But it's got some little Easter eggs to Sherlock Holmes that I like in this. But yeah, no, I do. I love this film. All my heart. It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And I never get tired of watching it. So watching it again, it's great. I'd ask my opening thoughts. Best Disney film ever.
Great. Do you know what? I always enjoy when Ethan turns up for a cast because his enthusiasm.
Yeah, and he is really he's really switched on about the movies that he loves.
Mm-hmm.
He may be crazy.
And that's what I was meaning to say. That's my favorite, probably my favorite Disney hero. My two favorite Disney heroes, funnily enough, are Scrooge McDuck and Basil. So you kind of get them both in this.
Yeah.
It's just Scrooge has just been turned into a mouse.
Yeah.
Why not? As you do.
Why not? Why not?
Right then, we'll move over to Susan then. Over to you, Susan.
All right. Well, like Watson, Dawson came out of Afghanistan, and that's pretty timely actually for what's going on right now. After 20 years, the troops are finally leaving Afghanistan, and so there's going to be a few Dawsons around in the next few months anyway. And Basil versus Ratigan and the Flaversham little toy shop was really cute, and I love how he put his daughter in a cupboard. The trouble is that she was a curious child, and she was looking out the door. So anyway, and Mrs. Judson, aka Mrs. Hudson, and it was a case of parent napping, and yeah, there was it was really fun movie. It's a really great great way to introduce children to Sherlock Holmes, because I mean, all the characteristics of Sherlock are present in little Mr. Basil, even down to the violin playing, and get to that. And yeah, and of course there's a big dog character who is the super friendly defender character, much the way everybody else gets one of those super friendly defender characters in Disney movies and in all sorts of all sorts of the fairy tales and things of that have been drawn from. Anyway, I think that every kid needs to have a dog defender, even if he is a street dog. you know, that was so sweet. And Olivia, the actress who played Olivia, I mean, what's her name? Suzanne Polachek.
Hmm.
Super amazing acting, you know, really carried the kid voice, really carried the kid attitude. And that was great. And it was nice too. And Candy Candido played Fidget, the little bat, as Ethan had mentioned. And Eve Brenner played the Mouse Queen, and Melissa Manchester, the you know, gold record selling you know, singer-songwriter from the 70s, played Miss Kitty Mouse. So that was fun. And she had some good songs in there, or one good song anyway. And so yeah, the music was beautiful, and the songs were catchy. I you know, I really liked it too. I wouldn't say it's my favorite Disney movie, but it's a really good story, and it's really quite wonderful, because it's it's so quintessentially British, and that's quite, you know, quite lovely. Anyway, back over to you, Lee. What are your opening thoughts, me?
I agree. I mean, sitting down watching this again this week, it's just like watching a proper Sherlock Holmes adaptation, be it Rathbone, be it Jeremy Brett, be it Downey Jr. It's just a good fun adventure. You've got everything in this. You know, you've got the streets of London. You've got the foggy streets of London. You've got the skyline of London. You've got the I think, is it London Bridge or was it Tower Bridge? I can't remember now.
Tower Bridge.
Tower Bridge. In this, as well as
Tower Bridge, yeah.
You know, you've got all that. You've got the action. It's Big Ben. Big Ben. You've got the plan to overthrow the monarchy using a mechanical queen. It's fun. It's dark as well. It is dark in places, but we'll get to that in bits here. But
yeah.
I did like Toby the dog as well, because he is Sherlock Holmes's dog. But Basil borrows him every now and again.
Yeah.
Mostly without Sherlock Holmes knowing. But and Toby was voiced by Frank Welker.
Welker, yeah, Frank
Welker, who's well known in the show business thing of doing voiceovers and stuff like that.
He's done bloody tons of them.
Oh, loads, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I agree with what Ethan said. Without a great actor like Vincent Price playing Ratigan, because I can't see anybody else doing justice to that character now.
No.
That's right.
And you know what? Let's face it. We've had so many Moriartys, right?
Yeah.
We've had what's his name? Jared Harris, who is a great Moriarty. We've had Andrew Scott. We've had Eric Potter. But let's face it, Vincent Price is the best Moriarty. He just happens to be called Ratigan. He is literally the best Moriarty.
I think the only actor who could have come close to doing a voice for Ratigan similar to what Price did would have been Alan Rickman.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that would have been a good one.
Yeah, because when I was watching this, I was thinking who could have done that voice if it was made later on. And I was thinking, no, it wouldn't have been. Jeremy Irons did Scar, and his voice is always Scar to me now.
Mm.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I don't know why. I just thought of George C. Scott.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think because George, I don't know why, because he just popped into my head because he played a Disney villain. What was his name?
I can't remember his name, but it was in Rescuers Down Under, wasn't it?
Yeah, and he's one of the best Disney villains ever.
But yeah, I was thinking Alan Rickman could have pulled it off with a sort of Vincent, because he had that sort of nasally voice like Price had. But yeah, it's an enjoyable movie, and as you said, though, Ethan, it's underrated.
And he
Very
did play a professor of dark arts.
There you go.
Yeah.
And he is British. Andy was British, Alan Rickman. Vincent Price wasn't.
There you go. There's
but
the truth.
he just has that power, as we mentioned in one of our reviews. He's just got such a presence and such a powerful voice that you can imagine him as Moriarty.
Yeah, I mean, also
Moriarty.
A lot of people do mistake him for being British.
Yeah, but he's got such a lovely, like, really, I don't know how to describe his voice.
Sonorous.
Yeah. And especially, like, it just makes me think of House on Haunted Hill. He sort of has that. He has that look, the suit and the tie, the well-dressed clothes. So his personality, the way he is, goes well with Ratigan.
Yes.
And this was a success at the box office. It was it was a smack at the box office. This followed the disappointing movie the year before for Disney, The Black Cauldron, which sort of flopped for them.
Oh, it did.
Yeah. It was disastrous
for that. Yeah.
But for me, really, if we ever get round to doing The Black Cauldron, it is a good movie, to be honest.
I like it. It's good.
Yeah,
it's got John Hurt as the villain.
As a villain,
yeah. John Hurt is the villain in it.
Yeah.
But back to Basil. Right then, let's go to favourite things. Who should we go with? Go on then, Susan.
Thank you. Okay, my favorite part of this is the part that Ethan was alluding to earlier, which is the Big Ben scene. I mean, that the intricacy of the motion of the gears in the clock, and the fact that the queen had been created into a clockwork queen, and then they showed the inside of the great clock in the center of London. Oh my gosh, I was like, yes, this is the perfect spot to have this grand battle. And I just think that it was really amazing. And I loved how they used the jeopardy of the gear going around, and Olivia stuck in one of the gears, and then it came around, and Basil was able to extract her from it. And I mean, the way that it was just beautiful and so intricate, and it was like what happens in the small realm, the fact that the queen lived in the fence, the outer fence of Buckingham Palace, and in her own kingdom or queendom or whatever, and that's where her castle was in the outer. Her palace was in the outer part of Buckingham Palace, the outer fence. And so in the small, the Clockwork Queen was made grand through Buckingham Palace and through the Big Ben. I mean, that whole intricate back and forth was fun about this movie. And I really loved Toby. I loved all the scenes with Toby. I loved when he's chasing the cat that was the transport device for those rats, the thug rats going to kidnap the queen. So it's not only parent napping, it's queen napping too. So that's just, they're stealing all the best people from their teeny microcosm of London. Anyway, that's my favorite moments. Back over to you, Lee.
Thank you, Susan. Right, we'll swiftly move over to Ethan. Over to you, mate.
Well, the clock tower's already been mentioned. I mean, that is
you
to
started
me,
it.
Yeah. Here's a fun fact, actually, and I looked this up, and it's actually true, and I couldn't believe this, but I sort of could, but I didn't realize this was the inspiration. Mike Perez, who is the lead artist of this film, went up to John Musker, the director, and he had described, they were saying about the final fight, they wanted it based on the final problem, the Reichenbach 4, which is obviously them fighting on the clock's hands, like the waterfall. But he came up with this idea for Big Ben, and he liked the idea of clock gears because he had seen a certain Japanese movie a few years before. Can you guess what it is? A certain Japanese animated film about a thief trying to save a princess. It was Castle like Cagliostro.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
Yeah. Mike Perez was a big fan of the film. He saw it when it came out before they dubbed it a few years later. He'd seen the Japanese version with subtitles, and he had seen the clock tower fight where Lupin is trying to fight Count Cagliostro, and the gears and all that turning and all that, the big clock tower. And he was a fan of that. He thought, oh, wow. And that's how he said to John Musker, I've just seen this film a few years back. Let's use that idea. So
now I have to see that one.
Yeah, Castle of Cagliostro, Lupin the movie was an inspiration to it.
We reviewed it, didn't we?
Yeah, we did the review, yeah, because I dressed in the green jacket and everything.
Yeah.
But I love that fight. And it's so great when it's like it all builds up to it, doesn't it? Like Ratigan just finally snaps into absolute insanity, and I love it. Like all this time we've seen him as a gentleman, and he's like it's just a mask, but now we're seeing him for who he is, just this monster, this absolute deranged monster, and all the clothes are ripping off him as he's running. It's a great shot, this one take of him going through the gears, and all like his cape's ripping off until he's just running on all fours, this horrific rat. It's a great, and you see him like with the long nails and everything, you're thinking he's just transformed completely. But it's a great fight. I mean, that is my favorite Disney fight. It's just so well done, and it is quite dark, getting shredded by Ratigan and stuff like that. But yeah, great scene. One scene, and I just seen, I always laugh at this scene. It's just so fucking funny. It's when Fidget comes back after looting the toy store, getting all the uniforms so they disguise themselves. And I always laugh at this. Ratigan says, "Now, you didn't forget anything." And of course he has. He's forgotten. I took care of everything on the list. Oh. And it's the way Vincent Price delivers it, like, what's wrong? Where's the list? And I die at it when he just... Fidget just goes,
hilarious.
Yeah, Fidget just goes, you see, it was like this. I was in the toy store getting the uniforms, and I heard I just die laughing at that bit where he's like, oh, and then Ratigan's like, you're not coming through. Don't came around. Happy Raban, Burnham Ban, and Basil to chase me. And he's like, why you shivering little? That bit is just comedy gold. It's just the way, just like, hello. I love it. It's brilliant. And like I said, it's just Vincent Price's delivery of that bit. You could see him in live action, just him like with the microphone, just like actually doing the movements, like, oh, you're not coming through. But I love that. I love that scene. And I've spoken much about Vincent Price, but Barry Ingham and Barry Ingham as Basil is brilliant. He's so good in the part. I mean, as we said, there's been many Moriartys, there's been many Sherlocks. We've had, Basil Rathbone, Jeremy Brett, Benedict Cumberbatch. But I do love Barry Ingham's voice. And he's a Shakespearean actor, but he really delivers a great Sherlock.
Don't forget Johnny Lee Miller.
Oh, yeah, Johnny Lee Miller. Yeah, I actually quite like him as Sherlock. He was good as well. I only watched some of the first series back in the day, but I did like him as well. But Barry Ingham he just really delivers a proper good Sherlock. And I love the chemistry between him and Dawson.
Val Betton.
Thank you, Val Betton.
You're welcome.
They played them so well. As the chemistry between them and how they evolve from first meeting each other to being the partners that they become famously known as. So speaking of Fidget, actually, I said they're not really favorite scenes, but I have to point them out. But he is so funny. How can a character be so funny and so, pun intended, batshit terrifying? I remember watching it as a kid, and that first scene when he smashes through the window and that deranged face, that freaked me out as a kid. And then I was terrified.
I bet you still are as well.
And yeah, and the bit when he disguises
himself. That's why his hair
is
standing up on end.
And he disguises himself as a baby. He disguises himself as a baby and comes out of that bloody pram going, ah! That's terrifying. And then the next thing you know, he's making me laugh.
Yes.
I mean, if you got a character who could do that, you've got something there spot on.
So not unlike the Joker.
Oh yeah, well, I suppose, yeah. But it's his face. I mean, if you woke up and saw that face. Emma. Jeez Louise. But
come on, but I mean, that's the way Disney does faces. I mean, like, because wouldn't bats really are just like wingy dogs, right? Little wingy dogs.
Yeah.
Am I right? And so, like, the way that Disney makes them just horrible.
Yeah,
grotesque.
they're like cute little things, but they thought, nah, let's just draw this one on crack.
With a wooden leg.
Trying to think of favorite moments, because I don't want to say too much, but this will be my last one, actually. I do love, speaking of dark scenes, actually, I think this is the only Disney film that we're ever going to see where the two main characters go into a bar and there's everybody getting drunk and stuff. They get drugged, and you get strippers.
Yep.
I was like, well done for putting all that in one bloody scene. We never get a Disney film like it ever again. They just thought, screw it, let's put this scene in. They get drugged, and then there's these mice strippers, but they're mice. No, they're strippers. And then people get drunk and stuff, knives flying everywhere, bloody bar fight.
Yep, Miss Kitty.
And guess
Kitty.
what? All in a kids' movie.
Yes.
Yeah, it's only a you.
Yes, a you as well.
Suitable for all.
Yeah. Don't tell the snowflakes that. They'll be like, oh, make it a PG.
We'll have to cut that out.
Yeah. But I mean, I love that scene because of how I love it when cartoons do that, especially like Disney or Warner Brothers. it can be so family friendly, but they'll add in these little dark moments. Like for kids, they'll probably enjoy it, but for the adults, they'll probably laugh their heads off because they're getting this. But I do love that bit. That's one of my other favorite bits. But I feel like they could have done something with the singing mouse, the lead female singer, because she could have been. I remember when I watched it, I thought she could have been
Irene Adler.
Yeah, she could have been this version of Irene Adler. But I think they originally intended it. I could be wrong, and I've probably heard it somewhere.
But Melissa Manchester just wanted to be, they really wanted her to be able to sing. And Irene Adler wasn't a singer.
Yeah.
In any of the stories. And Melissa Manchester was so popular at that time. Holy schmoly. I mean, she was, right up there with Neil Diamond. I mean, she was ginormous at that point. And so it's like getting Elton John for The Lion King. It hit a home run.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. That really hurt, and the songs were really, really catchy, beautiful songs.
But I think I would say those are my favorite moments. There's loads more, but I'm just picking those ones.
You didn't leave much for Lee.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. I'll mostly come up with some.
All right.
Yeah, right. Over to you, Dan.
Well, we'll just go back to Barry Ingham first, who voices Basil in this, and he's no longer with us. He passed away a few years ago. But he had an illustrious career in cult TV series. From 1968, he appeared in Doctor Who.
Yeah.
In the Myth Makers. He was in the Baron. He was in the Avengers. Randall and Hotcake Deceived, Sweeney, the Jeffersons, Remington Steele, Airwolf, A-Team, Murder She Wrote, Matlock, Star Trek: The Next Generation. Movie-wise, he appeared in Doctor Who and the Daleks with Peter Cushing.
Oh yeah, that's right.
True.
And he was also in The Day of the Jackal. So he had an illustrious career. But he's most famous for voicing Basil of Baker Street. So, I mean, the voice, but then when you get to see his face, then oh yes, he was in that, he was in this, he was in that. So he did become sort of a cult TV supporting actor through the years. So I've got a big thumbs up for Barry Ingham.
Yep.
Now, my favourite moments. Oof, what have you left me?
There's the toy store.
Well, hold on. I'm going to get to that. God. Well, I've got to agree with what you've all said about the Big Ben, the cogs. Superb scene. I wish it was longer though, because it went too quick. I think they could have fought more on the cogs. Falling from cog to cog and whatever. But then they went outside, didn't they? But very, very good. Also, I said a dark moment as well is I really felt for this character, the little drunken mouse.
Oh.
I mean, all he said was Ratigan was a rat, and he fed him to his cat.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought, no. It was such a lovable character, little character who was a little drunken mouse, and he fed him to the big fat cat. I thought, oh, he's evil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was funny because he was still singing as you could hear him going down the cat's throat. Oh, poor little mouse. Now we'll go to the toy store. You have mentioned, a fidget dressed as a little baby in the cot, but the whole of that scene with all the toys. I don't like up the old-fashioned dolls anyway. Those wax faces and.
Oh yeah, and their eyes close and open up.
I mean, you had all them stood there and collapsing, and there was faces smashing, and so that was just chaos in the toy shop. But it was so well, the animated was brilliantly done.
Mm.
What else is? Yeah, also as well the chase in their what do you call them? Airships.
Yeah.
Ratigan,
Oh
Ratigan,
yeah, the airship fight. Yeah.
yeah, Ratigan's airship. Brilliant over the foggy skies of London.
Yeah.
Fidget wanting, let's loosen the load a bit. Yeah, loosen weight. Yeah, so if Ratigan throws him off.
Yeah.
Was that the end of Fidget? Who knows?
Not he could fly.
We went straight into the water.
I know. I think he knocked him out.
But that was also as well ingenious thing with the Basil chasing him on a box of matches with some balloons and a Union Jack flag. But yeah, it's a brilliant movie. It's a shame they never did a sequel.
Yeah.
Ratigan, you don't know. It could have been like Moriarty always came back from death, didn't he?
Yes.
So he could have come back. I mean, if it was only a couple of years after, like maybe in 1988, they could have done a sequel. Well, not to be, I suppose. Disney, if you're watching this, do a sequel to The Mouse Detective.
Yes. There's plenty more stories.
There is plenty more stories. If this keep it as good as this original, yeah, yeah. And going back to what you said at the beginning, Ethan, it is based on a book series, Basil of Baker Street. But yeah, they did a very damn good job of this. So I can't think of any more favourite moments if I start repeating what you lot have said. Yeah, I mean, I did like the Queen Mouse, the mouse who was the Queen, sort of similar to the Queen of that time, Queen Victoria. They did the same frumpiness.
Yes.
That was quite good. And it was quite easy for him to get into the palace, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then as Ratigan, as the Queen's consort, unrolls a list of things what he wants doing. Number 1. And then next time you see him, number 96. But yeah, it was it's real. The voice acting in this is brilliant. The animation in this is brilliant. I wish Disney would do more of this type of animation instead of going down all this computer generated thing.
Yeah.
I think these look far better.
Oh yeah. The last one they did, and it was intended to be like they would do it now and then, was that Princess and the Frog.
Yeah.
That was the last one where they actually had like proper. I think that was directed by John Musker as well, actually. That had proper 2D animation, and that's a great movie. That's a brilliant movie. And they said that was they were going to start every now and then. They would do like maybe 3D animated movie, but then they would go back to a 2D style animated movie, just to sort of like keep it up like that. But don't know why they stopped. They never did any more after they said that this would be the first to bring back 2D animation. So, bit of a bugger.
Maybe they need some new executives at Disney to make a decision.
Yeah.
So, anything else before we go to final score, Scott?
I really love the mansard roofs in this scene here at the end. I'm properly geeked out about these mansard roofs that are the gabled top and then the beautiful shallow top slope, which in all of these has the rings around them and stuff. I just think that, I mean, they ended on this slide or this image, and I was just like, oh, oh my gosh, it's beautiful. I mean, they this is actually really gorgeous, the way they did the architecture and everything. It was really beautiful. But this particular piece, I mean, all of these mansard roofs just in one spot took my breath away for a second. I am properly obsessed with mansard roofs, and didn't know about them until I moved to Massachusetts. I mean, because in Montana they're all peaky, and in California they're all flat.
Mm.
So the difference is that here, like London, they have this. Oh my gosh, they're gorgeous. Anyway, so I got to talk about like something that's totally unique to me, that is geeky about me. and I'm just grateful that you two were here to hear that, because so lovely. And I was just like, I have to get a screen grab of this. So pretty. Anyway, thanks.
I've just remembered a scene what nobody has mentioned, and it's when Ratigan captures Basil and ties them up on the mousetrap, and he's got all the traps. He's got the pistol. He's got the axe. He's got the harpoon or whatever it is. And I was watching that and I was thinking, this is just like an Adam West Batman episode.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
I'm thinking, it's just like, Vincent Price it's Egghead.
Yeah, he's Egghead again.
Because that's what they used to do, it just tie him up on a giant mouse trap, do this, that, the other, and
then
like really cartoony and stuff like that. It's hilarious. And you get to hear.
Go on, one of you.
Go, Ethan.
And you get to hear, and I don't think any other villain has done this, because every villain sings one song. Vincent Price does 2 villain songs in this.
Oh, yeah.
The one he actually sings it, and the other one, which he's recorded, which shows how vain he is, this villain, record his singing voice. I'm just going to leave you to die while you listen to my other song. Goodbye so soon. And I love that. I love the other song, but I love Goodbye So Soon.
So good.
I love that song.
So
the thing that was like a with the ball that rolls down and does all this stuff. What do they call those things? Oh my God, it's just slipped my mind.
Marble.
No, but it's a kind of a process or a tool. It's I hate this. I just had a senior moment. Never mind.
It's a thingamajig.
Yeah. Go on.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, we're going to go to final say and score then, shall we? And as soon as Susan finds that word, she'll blurt it out. And it'll look like it's in no context whatsoever. So, Ethan, final say and score about this movie.
Well, I think I've said about as much as I can about this film. It's actually, now that we think about it, perfect choice in timing as well, now that I've just moved back to Windsor, just outside London. So, perfect choice. No, I bloody adore this film. Oh, that's a bit I like. All these traps going off, flipping out. Thank you, Dawson. Smile, everyone.
Oh, yeah.
And Dawson and Olivia just look bloody shell-shocked. They're like... And typical Olivia's like, yeah. Oh, brilliant. No, yeah. Really is my favourite Disney film, this. It's just everything I love about Sherlock. And I do love these kind of stories with Sherlock, London, really great storytelling like this, and just great characters and proper animation. I really wish this, I've got a list now, turned into fidget. I miss this kind of animation. So my score, I'm going to give it, well, obviously, 10 out of 10 cheese crumpets.
Oh yeah. From Mrs. Hudson's cheese crumpets.
Yeah, 10 out of 10 cheese crumpets.
So over to Susan then.
I couldn't find the right. It's a kind of a. It's a. Anyway, the beauty of this animation is there. The story was awesome, and I love that I love that you guys thought it was so great, and so I'm gonna give this 9.5. 9.5 balloons in a Union Jack out of 10.
Thank you.
The half of a balloon was the one that popped.
Well, we won't get copyright for that.
No, it was pretty broken up. Don't worry about it.
I will score this. It's a pretty damn good movie. It's a solid movie, fun movie. I haven't got anything really bad to say about it. So, if I haven't got anything bad to say about it, you know what it's going to be. 10 little drunken mices out of 10. So, poor little fella.
Yeah.
So,
Ratigan.
that is our review of The Great Mouse Detective, Basil the Great Mouse Detective. So, Susan, Ethan, thank you for sitting down and talking about this movie.
Sure.
You guys out there, let us know what you thought of the movie. Leave a comment. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Let us know. If you'd like to join our group or be on the casts, message me or anybody who you see here, because they're available all over the place. They hang out on street corners. A bottle in a brown paper bag, you'll find them somewhere. Especially Ethan. But yeah, we'll say we're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all over the place. And if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, please remember to press the bell notification button, because every time we put up a brand new video, you'll get a notification. Similar to that, maybe a bit more well-oiled than that one.
Yeah. I still need. I've just moved, so I need to dig out my belt. It's somewhere.
Yeah. Ethan has to dig out his dinger.
Get my dinner.
So, I think that's what we've done. Everything, haven't we? Yeah, I think we have, haven't we? So until next time.
Time knows how to fly. So goodbye. I'm so sure
Goodbye. Farewell.
Bye.